Today we're going to look at the defensive responsibilities for two formations that we often run up against. These are the defensive responsibilities. We're going to focus on when we run our base formation of a 4-1-4-1. A lot of times we'll be playing against a team that is running a 4-4-2. Three straight lines for the most part. Sometimes you see those lines vary in the outside channels. This is when we mix and mingle. So let's take a look on our wing positions, the 9 and 10s. They're going to make sure that the outside back does not come forward, finding themselves to drop into the half position is critical when the ball's on the opposite side of the field so that they can drop in and help, but also can spring forward and join in different attacking runs, waiting for that transition moment. The 11's job is to make sure that the ball does not swing from right to left, so to make sure that the center backs have pressure that they cannot play together. The outside defenders working with the outside midfielders, making sure that when they come forward that they're marked up. This naturally will provide a gap that can be exploited. So working with and communicating with the midfielder, if their mark pushes all the way in and gets the ball, how do we defend into this area? Can we slow down the attack and buy time for a midfielder to swing in and help? Center mids, center mids. Pretty simple. The center backs mark up with the two forwards. Now, the key to this defensive shape is our man in the middle. This holding midfielder, defensive midfielder's responsibilities are very strong. We're going to ask a lot out of this person, this young man, to be able to read the play, to drop into the back line, into these gaps, also to shield or try to read the pass that might be played into the feet of these forwards. So we're going to try and force these forwards to become one-dimensional, whatever dimension they choose, whether it's over the top or having to drop all the way back into the midfield to gather the ball. And then again, that's playing into this man's role. Also available is for him to rotate into this, like we just mentioned a moment ago, if the outside back is having trouble because it creates too much of a gap, a spatial gap to attack into. So can this man rotate over, and then we can rotate and drop in around him. So these guys have to be very smart, read the play dynamically, and allow each other a lot of communication with each other. So this is defending in a 4-4-2. Let's take a look at a 4-3-3. Sometimes a team will want to try and put 6 men forward to attack, and so still defending with our 4-1-4-1. Here you see the outside midfield is really high, almost like a forward. Again, we're going to make sure that those men are marked in, not letting them overlap and become part of the play, which also allows, if they're a little unaggressive, it allows our wingers to drop in and help build the attack and go forward. Again, same responsibility. We want to break the pass between the two center backs, let them play on one side of the field, so if it's back and forth, then all of our defense can shift and it buys us time to get into position. Midfield is going to be marked up with midfield. So we've got these zones. If they rotate, again, we're marked up in terms of what the responsibility is. And as you look at the defense, again, the outside backs are going to have men that are stationed a little bit higher. So the last formation, they were having to look down the field maybe a little bit more and try and read how passes are coming or overlapping runs might happen. Here it's more straight up of a one man, one responsibility. This is where it's a little bit different. The big change is the center backs. We want one center back to take the responsibility, and then we're going to go ahead and just make the call out that the other man, the other boy, will have more of a what we might call the traditional sweeper role. So you can see he's a little bit more playing off the shoulder, not deep, not 8 yards, not 5 yards, just off the shoulder. All right. So when we lose the ball in that moment of transition, he's reading, where do I need to position myself? We have a second defender that can quickly come in and help around the middle of the field, around the arc. So those are the two big formations that we constantly run across.